Well, it's convenient that there's benches here to sit down and do a little interview, but I'd much prefer to be able to actually skate the bank.
Probably the video with the greatest influence on me as a young skateboarder was Pal Peralta's Future Primitive. The whole video from cover to cover, but specifically the New York street skating segment. California seemed really far away when I was a kid, and I just started skating. But then I see Future Primitive, and here's guys, my heroes, Lance Mountain, Steve Cavallero, Mike McGill, you know, skating at a location that's 40 minutes from where I'm living, from where I grew up. This was really liberating, seeing this footage, and not even so much that they were here, but what they were doing while they were here. And this was the first time that I was made aware of the Brooklyn Banks. Me and my buddies, we just kind of digest Future Primitive, and our skating just exploded overnight. You know, we just got better as skateboarders just from watching the video, and it became vital to me and my buddies to get into New York City and skate. After seeing Future Primitive, it was like this place was already a part of me before I'd even skated it. And then it all kind of blurs together, you know, just coming into the city and skating around the city and ending up at the banks. Though I don't remember the exact time and location and whatnot, the exact details of it, I just know that the first time I showed up here and saw it with my own eyes, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was here. I was here where, you know, Ian Fromm ollied to rail on the wall and, you know, lay back air off, you know. It's like, and who was Ian Fromm? Like, he was a skater from New York, man. Like, that was like, you know, he got in the Powell video, man. You know, he was in the video. He was, you know, I wasn't a city kid or anything, but he was one of us. He was an East Coast street skater. I mean, that meant something, you know.
I skated the banks in Action East, which was the first video I was ever in. I skated the banks in Public Domain with my buddy Rod Smith, and I skated the banks in Rubbish Heap. Those are the three videos I can think off the top of my head that actually feature me skating at this spot. I mean, skating here for my part for Public Domain was a big deal, and getting to skate with my buddy Rodney Smith, I mean, that meant a lot to me. To get him into my video part, because he was such a major influence on me and my mentor as a young skater. Skate history, especially during, you know, the mid-'80s, it gets kind of, you know, intense, and it kind of becomes a gray area because so many things were happening at one time. It's hard to say who did what first, but I'm pretty sure Christian Soy was the first guy to ollie over the wall, which is a big deal. And that became the standard. I mean, when you skated this spot, what you did was, you know, you did tricks on the banks, obviously. You skated the bank like it was a quarter pipe. But, you know, ollieing over the wall was kind of a measuring stick. And then into the early 90s, it became, you know, what trick could you actually do over the wall? And some ridiculous stuff has definitely gone down. I mean, the best skaters in the world have come here and done tricks over the wall. And then one day, they put up this fence here, this metal fence, which was put here to stop guys from ollieing over the wall, basically. It caused enough problems that something had to be done, I guess. And so the fence is put up, basically ending, you know, people jumping into the street. When I heard about it, you know, I was really kind of bummed out because it's kind of the end of an era. And then I came here and I looked at it, and I decided that I was going to ollie over it. It definitely took me a lot of tries, but right from the start, like my first try, the second time around, I snapped it, and I kind of just hurdle jumped the fence, and I made it over pretty clean, and I never really looked back. I never really had any problems. I never hit it, never clipped it. I was kind of over it every time. I decided to go with the frontside grab, which kind of felt kind of natural coming off the bank. You know, I made a few of them, made a few clean, and then I did one where my truck hit this knob up here on top, this ball, and broke it off. And Red shot a sequence of that, and that was the one that showed up in the magazines, and his contents page spread in Transworld, which is a sequence I'm really proud of. You know, it was a moment in time where, you know, I did something that no one else had done before me, and no one else has done since me, and maybe we'll never get a shot to do it again, because who knows if this particular area of the banks will ever be skatable again. That's funny. I mean, the bricks are pretty beat up at this point. you know, nicked up, tore up, but I've always thought this place was pretty damn smooth. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I've never felt like the bricks affected my skating. I felt like they enhanced my skating. I think this surface is one of my favorite surfaces to skate on. So, you know, usually you associate brick with being rough or cracks kind of being a problem, but to me it's like the perfect setup. And you know, if they purposely built skate parks like this with this surface, I'd be into it. You know, maybe it has something to do with growing up skating here. I don't know, but to me this is the ideal. And no one really could change my mind about that. So this is the spot we used to call the lower banks, which no one really skated back in the day. There's some footage of Feature Primitive here, but generally everyone skated the upper banks. But after those were made, you know, unskateable, this kind of became where everyone rode. And as you can see, it kind of became its own little skate park or BMX park. And this kind of became the spot now. This is when people talk about the banks, this is what they're talking about, this is what they're thinking about. What's really important for me right now is to come out here knowing that the banks are going to be shut down and unskateable for who knows how long. If they're ever going to be skateable again, we don't really know that. I wanted to get a photo skating the banks, one last photo. Hopefully it's not the last, but you never know. So come out here, skate with Sean Cronin, shoot some photos, and try and get something that stands up and is a visual reminder of, you know, the times and the memories and the place. And so that's the main goal. That's the main goal of me coming here right now and being here and skating. Best skate park in the world, because it wasn't supposed to be a skate park.